Hello, folks. We got new digs.
Yes, this is coming to you from our new studio that we're putting together.
Don't worry, but it's the same old hosts, and we're here for board games and coffee. So grab your coffee and let's chat about our favorite board game evening advice. Welcome to Wisco Dice. Hey, yo, folks. I am your host, Conesy with Most, and I'm joined today by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
And on today's episode of Board Games and Coffee, not only are we going to have amazing coffee, what are we drinking here?
Oh, we are drinking, is it Electric Monkey?
It is.
Oh,
Electric Monkey Espresso.
From Just Coffee Cooperative here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Let us know what you're drinking in the comments below in case you want to be featured like maybe some of these other people who commented on previous episodes of Board Games and Coffee. But... getting into it, we are going to talk a little bit today about what we do. We've been hosting our regular board game evening. What should folks do?
Oh, right now, you should definitely smash that like button. And also subscribe if you haven't already so that we know to keep content like this coming your way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we have had a little bit of a break, and as we kind of kick things off with why...
When we purchased this home a few years ago, it had an unexpected feature of extra bedroom that we didn't need in the basement.
Well, I don't know if it was unexpected. It said it was a 4-bedroom house.
Right. Well, okay, it wasn't on what we were, like, this is what we need. We weren't expecting to have an unused bedroom in the house. And so we decided what better thing to do than to make it into a dedicated themed gaming/studio space.
Exactly. So
yep.
It took a while, and part of that, like, we kept procrastinating on it because the table we're sitting at, our brand new Geek and Son table, which we'll be doing a review on coming to the blog here soon. But it took a while because of delays getting the table. We kind of procrastinated and didn't really get the project done. But it's done enough that we're able to shoot video in here now, so it's awesome. And
we had a few false starts with choosing the color and everything and what we're gonna do.
Getting the paint kind of right, just little things like that. But it's coming along nice. It's very cozy in here, and it's a nice gaming experience. Whether we're in here playing a role-playing game, whether we're shooting video, or whether we're playing board games. So. Yeah, we'll have upcoming content about how we approached the quasi-remodel thought process, work in progress shots in clips throughout. We'll be doing that in an updated video as soon as this gets just a wee bit more finished.
Yes, we're almost there, but final little touches and everything. And I will say I'm excited to have this room for this upcoming Wisconsin winter, which does get, cold, as everyone I think knows about Wisconsin, and so it's going to be a much cozier space.
Yeah, absolutely. So all right.
Anyway,
let's talk about board game nights.
Yeah, which we have been doing for quite a while. We love having board game nights.
Yeah. So I mean, we should get started. This is going to be kind of how we approach it, kind of thought process, organization.
What works for the two of us.
Yes.
And there are two of us.
Which does help, right? It does help especially when we start expanding beyond a single table of games. And I think we'll talk a little bit about, because we're starting to get to a point where we're oftentimes seeing a third table of games and some strategies we're using to try to ensure that table also runs smoothly as well. First piece of advice that I want to give folks, and this is something that probably shows up everywhere when it comes to board game evening advice or like anything regular, and that is scheduling. Be consistent with your scheduling. So we always host on the first and third Thursdays of the month.
Yep.
So it's very clear. People can plan for that on their calendars and know that is going to be a regular thing. If there are any deviations, we always communicate it effectively, but that is just a really big thing that I think a lot of people miss. And I've got a friend of mine who used to do really consistent board game evenings, and now it's your guess is as good as mine when it's going to be, and so a lot of times I'm booked and can't make it.
Yep, and even for us as planning these and hosting these, it's nice to have it be consistent so that we don't suddenly have them drop off and go, hey, where are our board game nights? And it's something that we enjoy doing, and so having it planned that we're going to have people over, it just, I like to schedule things. Like, I'm big on looking at the calendar and stuff, so if I can see when I need to be gaming, it helps a lot. Also helps with, trying to keep the house clean and picked up. I know when I have to panic clean before people are coming over.
Okay.
I'm sure there's people, if you panic clean before people come over, please let me know, because someone here doesn't.
House good enough on regular days, good enough for when company's over.
But anyway.
So, next piece of advice that I have is that it's communicate. And this is another one that I think you'll see on a lot of places. People will talk about communication for whether it's an RPG group or a board game day or anything. There is a definite art to making sure people are notified what the days are, even though we're consistent. It's always the first and third Thursdays. It's still, hey, we're doing it on these dates. Hey, game night's this Thursday. Hey, and don't feel like you're over communicating. I mean, if you're sending them an email or sending them a text message every day, that's too much, right?
Once a month with the dates, and then each week at the beginning of the week, or about 5 days ahead of time. That's not that much. It's reminding them to let you know if they're coming so that you can kind of plan a little bit.
Yeah, and in that communication, have a call to action, whether that's going to be an RSVP or what games do people want to bring, whatever the case might be. In fact, you might combine both of them, but make sure the people have a call to action in the email. I need you to RSVP so that we can do X or whatever, right? That really... it ensures that people are interacting back and you're not left going, I don't know how many people are going to be here, or I don't know if people are interested. And it's just that extra act sometimes of getting somebody to send you an email back is all it takes to help ensure that they are coming, right? And instead of just ignoring it and having it get lost in their inbox. So just little things like that. And communication is really big, but be clear and concise also in your communication about what your dates are, what the start time is, where it is, and what your expectations are.
Right. Yes. And along with the communication, one thing we have started doing is listing on the week of the game night, we've listed what games we're anticipating playing with some links to that. And there's multiple reasons for this. We're doing it on a weeknight. People that are coming, you either have everyone's working the next day or have kids that have to get off to school, stuff like that. We have this short kind of 4-hour-ish time window to play games. And we don't want to be spending 30 minutes of it hemming and hawing about what game we're going to play, who's going to teach it, does anyone even know how to play it, setting it up, all that stuff. So people can suggest games, and they do that they're going to bring, and then we know how many people can fit at that game and at that table, or we can set up a game ahead of time. We can, especially this last week, new game I was going to teach River of Gold. Everyone at the table had watched the video if they hadn't played it before. So they had watched the how to play video, so it was just a very quick overview. So we just got into that game, and it was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we were starting these board game nights, that was definitely, it was a weeknight. Most of our attendees, know your audience that's coming, right? So most of our attendees were Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 workers. So, staying out too late, especially if they're having to travel maybe 20 or 30 minutes to our home to be able to play at these games. We want to make sure it's easy for them. So in our call to action, we always call for an RSVP in the communication, but we're also letting people know, this is the 2 or 3 games we're expecting to have on the tables. we link like how to play this game, how to play this game, how to play this game, so that hopefully people have an opportunity to maybe review the rules or learn a little bit how to play a game, so that it reduces learn to play time.
But it's not required.
No, we don't require it. We'll still teach and whatnot. And when people arrive, the games are already set up on the tables. So it's more of, okay, show up, grab your seat. You know, there's still that initial chattering while everybody's showing up, and then trying to get people to the table that they want to play on or whatever. You know, there's still some hemming and hawing of people that, oh, I don't know what table I want to play on or whatever. Just pick a table, please. Makes our lives easier. But then we also, because there's two of us, we always are at different tables if there's multiple tables that night, so that we can teach and explain the games, unless we have a volunteer, which doesn't actually happen that often, for bringing a game of their own.
I think they just don't want us to play a game together.
Yeah. I mean, as our board game days have gotten bigger, though, we're starting to get to a point where there's a third table, and in fact, we have 3 gaming tables like this in the house, so it's nice we're able to now expand our game nights easily to a third nice gaming table. For that third table, it can be a bit of a challenge because obviously if you're like, say, one person and trying to do these game nights maybe in the kind of our model where you're, hey, I have to teach the game and explain it to my audience, what do I do about this extra table where I can't be at? So one of the things we started at the beginning of the year was we did a little racing series with a game called Heat, called the Cone Cup, and let about once a month or once every couple of months, that game now will hit the table. And players will play it, and guess what? Since it's been a reoccurring thing, everybody pretty much that comes to game night knows how to play it, or has at least one person that's able to teach it in case there's a new player. And they can go play it and have a great time, actually feel like they're racing towards this ultimate cup in the racing series. And the next year we'll do something different. But so that's definitely one strategy we've used, is to kind of pick a game that it's not necessarily a campaign, but can be played in a series of games that kind of stack together, you know.
And also a game that people don't mind playing multiple times. You know, there's something, you know, that everyone seems to enjoy well enough that they will play it multiple times and be fine with it.
Yeah, like a legacy game or a campaign game isn't necessarily a good choice. Like I tried doing this with Pandemic Legacy at one point, and the problem we ran into is that everybody that started that Pandemic Legacy game wanted to play that Pandemic Legacy game. So any night that game came out, it was guaranteed the 4 players that were playing that started playing that were playing that. And then everybody else was stuck playing everybody else. And then it was just like 2 groups. And well, what happens if the second group didn't have enough players or something like that or whatever? It just got a little ugly. Not bad ugly, but it was just...
We have enough turnover and change too in who comes to our game nights week to week, depending on their schedules, that having a legacy game where people really feel strongly like they want to see it through, which I would. It doesn't work for us.
Or one person didn't show up of the 4 people that were in the Pandemic Legacy game, so filled in. I remember filling in a Descent game and getting really attached to the character I was playing, and I played for like 4 sessions in a row, and I got kind of sucked into playing that character, and then the original player for that character came back, and then I was sitting on the sidelines not getting to play. That kind of sucked. That was kind of a sucky experience for me. So like doing that, like I know a game like Pandemic Legacy and some of these legacy games are built that you can flex in players here and there to help make it work, but just not my favorite cup of tea from a player experience if I feel like I missed out on something because I couldn't make it.
Yeah. And going back to hey, we kind of send out what games that we are thinking that we're going to play, that are highly likely that we're going to play, based on, initial RSVPs and everything. One thing that it has helped me, and I think some other people in the group, is reduce some of the stress and anxiety of either trying to have to find a new game or not knowing what game we're going to play or just deciding ahead of time. Like, and I'm hosting it, so I feel very comfortable now. I can like have the game that I'm going to be teaching set up and refresh my memory on how to teach it. Because even if I play the game like 10 times and taught it a bunch, I still like to kind of prepare and do a refresher. And I think it helps other people too with some of that unknown if they're going into a game night. Maybe they're not great friends with everyone there yet, and they're just kind of like, oh, I don't know if like how my gaming skills stack up, if I'm going to learn as quick as everyone else. They can, have this, okay, this is what I'm going to go to do and feel comfortable about that. So,
yeah. And when we do have games with our large collection and acquisition disorder where we are acquiring games at a pretty rapid rate, almost faster. Well, yeah, faster than we can play them right now. It is quite often that we don't end up with the same games on the table, but there are a few select titles. Like this last game night, we had Distilled and we had River of Gold. River of Gold was
new, one standard.
Yeah. One that had been on the tables a couple of times. It'll let players also kind of gravitate and let their choice. Like one of the concerns that we had from players that come to our game nights is, well, we don't get a chance to play some of the same game over and over to get, see if, hey, I just get the game figured out and then I don't get to play it again because you're always playing different games. Well, we try to cycle in some of the games we've had played before, so in this case, Distilled. And what I ended up finding out is that everybody wanted to go play the new game that they had never played before.
Because
so
it's gold and shiny.
It's kind of interesting to see how that turns out sometimes, where group feedback is one thing, but the reality of what it is most of the players gravitated to wanting to play the new shiny game versus the game that they've played before.
Yep. Well, and you know what? I will say that they'd played Distilled before, and then they watched the video on the other one. So then it was like, ooh, I kind of know how to play this. So I'm going to go play this one.
Yeah, it definitely helped comfort level, right? With players being able to play.
But it was pretty cool because one friend that was at the table had played it as many times as I had, and is actually much better at watching everything and the rule, just spotting everything and playing while helping other people at the same time. And I could have just not been there and come play Distilled with you.
Yeah.
But if you guys are watching, I had a blast playing River of Gold. I really enjoyed it. So
she also crushed everybody. So
I did not.
She did.
Hey, the person who always comes in third on the game did not come in third. We foiled his plans. He had to come in second.
Well, there is that. So, anyways. I think those are a lot of the overall bigger tips that we use to try to keep our game nights consistent. Sending out consistent communications.
Conesy and I are very fortunate that we have a great gaming space that we can dedicate a good portion of our house basically to gaming, which is our passion. This is what we do for fun. We do not also some things that we do that aren't necessarily focused on games. I think are at a lot of game nights. Is a lot of people have different schedules, dietary needs, drink preferences, all that. So we schedule our games so that they're after the dinner hour. Yeah. Or the understanding is that we're not serving a meal with it. People can, if someone is running late and they're bringing food with them, there's space that they can eat away from the gaming space. If someone brings a snack, occasionally there'll be a snack here or there. We have a community fridge type of thing.
Yeah.
Where, there's some soda and some, other beverages in there that anyone is free to drink, but most people just bring their own, what they feel like drinking that night.
And that's a class.
It's nice.
Yeah, I think that's a regular thing is people bringing their own beverages or snacks to game night.
It depends on who's hosting it and stuff.
But a lot of times, if you're hosting, particularly if you're doing bring your own beverage, people will leave beverages. And so, we effectively have a community fridge where we do stock it with some standard things like Coke and Sprite and maybe whatever Spotted Cow or whatever.
If you're in Wisconsin, if you come to Wisconsin, you need Spotted Cow.
But people will bring beer or soda or whatever, and occasionally there'll be a can or two that's left over.
They just leave it.
And we've made it very clear that we have one fridge. It's a small little under-counter fridge, and that fridge is community. Anything in there is fair game. If you want to share it, you put it in the big fridge. But afterwards, when people leave, if there's stuff that's left, whether it's in the big fridge or the little fridge, and they left it here, we move it all to the community fridge. We typically don't drink it ourselves, and so the next time people come over, that fridge generally continues to kind of grow in supply. There's definitely been, I think we're going to have to probably get some more community beer here soon, but normally it's like every 6 months we're having to do that versus doing it all the time.
And the nice thing that has done is it's taken some pressure off of us as hosting this twice a month at our home from having to prep food, make sure we're shopping for beverages, and also the costs associated with that. So if you have the space and the time, but maybe not the financial means to do what you think that you need to do for hosting people over, I don't know any gaming group where people aren't all glad to, hey, you're letting us use the space, we're just going to bring stuff. So
and if you don't have space or you don't have a second fridge or something like that, you can clearly demarc maybe a little section of your main fridge or whatever, that's the community area, something, or a cooler.
Assuming that you have a second
like
fridge that you can do that with.
I mean, I think that's pretty much it for this episode of Board Games and Coffee. I mean, my cup's run dry anyway, so
I've been
still
talking too much, so I haven't been drinking enough coffee.
So, all right, well, absolutely. Let us know what you do that's unique for your board game events in the comments below, as well as letting us know what you're drinking. And until the next Board Games and Coffee, thanks for watching.
Hey there, it's Conesy. Thank you so much for watching. We put out videos weekly here at Wisco Dice. Check out our channel for more great videos and don't forget to subscribe. We also have more great content on our website at wiscodice.com. Of course, we do this all for you, the viewers. So please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.